what can fans really look at and go, I think that can translate to the regular season?
Mm.
Are we not even there yet? Do we have to wait for a couple of these preseason games, or can you look at some of these one-on-one matchups and be like, oh, that'll play?
Well, the answer is all.
Okay.
Because depending on the player, you will see some things that will wow you. Great example. Left tackle, Ike Ekwonu. It's looking really good. I mean, when I say looking really good, he is locking down guys. And yes, somebody's gonna get past him. You're in the heat, you're going 70, 80 plays in one day. You've been in meetings, you're gonna have some off days, you're gonna have a bad player here or there. But Ike is already showing in year two why he was the sixth pick for the Carolina Panthers last year. I believe he's already become one of the best offensive linemen on the Carolina Panthers team because of his consistency of what he started last year as a rookie. Yes, he had some mistakes, but he grew into the role. And then today, heading into the second year, he's looking good. I'm not gonna say he's great, but he looks better than his rookie year, and he was pretty darn good. Then they have some guys that are injured. Austin Corbett, he's hurt. So that gives an opportunity for some of these other young guys to come in. They got two guys, JD Dorenzo, probably saying it wrong, but he's from Rutgers, undrafted. And then Nash Jensen, undrafted from North Dakota State, where they're knocking him down with players, sarcasm. When you're undrafted from North Dakota State, you aren't expected. Not a lot is expected out of you. I'm getting word that these two guys, they're nasty, they're tough, they're smart. They said, man, they're fighting for the sixth man right now. That's how good they are. The undrafted guys they are leapfrogging some of the guys that are veterans who will be backups. Right? We got 30-year-old ninth year player Cam Irving. And they said that they're playing like veterans. When you say undrafted, they don't look undrafted. Are they making mistakes? Yes. But they're making less mistakes as undrafted than some of the guys are that were drafted 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, or who are fighting to be on the roster as a backup.
What kind of hunger do these undrafted guys come in with, and how do they sustain it? So it's not just like, oh, I'm hungry to make the team. It's no, I'm hungry to stay in the league for a half decade to 10 years.
I think what happens is there's very little expectations that are expected from them, and very little ability to handle all the information given to them all at once and see how they apply it. And these guys are applying it pretty well, to the point that people are going, we can give them more. Well, hey, let's try him here at guard. Wow. Let's try him here at tackle. Wow. Let's try him here at left guard, right guard. And they're playing well. So when you're a backup, you have to have a special teams value, and you have to have a value of playing multiple positions. And what they call it is swing. You got to be able to swing around and fill a gap. And these two guys are filling gaps, right? The same way Brady Christensen from he was a third-round pick in 2020 for the Carolina Panthers. He's been a guy. He's lined up at tackle. He's lined up at guard. Sam Tacklenberg, same thing. He's lined up at center. He's lined up at guard, tackle. When you're able to show your value that you can block at any position and take the workload and the information and direct traffic too, being a center is directing traffic. Man, that's a tremendous value that teams are willing to hold on to you and allow you to make mistakes and allow you to humbly develop and to see if you can handle the workload.
Is offensive line what most Panthers fans are keyed in right now because of the investment in Bryce Young, keeping him upright, keeping him protected, giving him time, especially as a rookie, Yeah, he was at Alabama. He was Heisman. Obviously, he has the pedigree. He has the talent. But he still needs protection. He still needs protection at the NFL level. So Icky taking that step sounds like it should be one of the most important things so far out of camp.
No, the most important thing is the wide receivers, right? They got 12 wide receivers. They may only keep 7. I doubt 8. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tight ends, 3 quarterbacks. I believe they just signed another quarterback. So they got 4 quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs. Man, they got a lot of guys that are they are working for a position, not just on the Carolina Panthers, but on other teams as well, so they can get themselves in the all 22 system. So scouts, when they're looking at scouts right now, are looking at rosters of players that maybe a player was undrafted and said, hey, he was on our list, or he was drafted, he was on our list, but someone else picked him up, and now he becomes available. So they're looking to watch and see, hey, we targeted a guy and he's available. Let's bring him in our team. So there's a ton of guys like the 12 wide, all these wide receivers. Man, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see, because you got Chenault, C.J. Saunders, Shi Smith, Stevenson, Mingo, Clark, Bird, Thielen, Wright, Jennings, Vaughn, and Marshall. Man, you're not going to be able to keep all these guys.
No. How? Obviously, it's the third coach in the last 12 months in Carolina. How has Reich looked? How has the team looked under him? What are the positives? I can't imagine there are many negatives. It's only been a couple of days so far, but what have the ups and downs of practice look like so far?
A lot of people that I'm talking to and just hearing, and they're just saying the leadership is more consistent. They know exactly why and what the message is. There's no hidden meaning. Frank has such a great staff of former players. D'Angelo Hall's the DB coach. Josh McCown is the quarterback's coach. Passing game coordinator, Park Frazier. Just all these different guys. Wide receivers coach for a long time. They call him OG, Sean Jefferson. Deuce Staley is assistant head coach, and Deuce Staley is passionate. He keeps those guys accountable. His job is to really be the mouthpiece and manage as well underneath Frank. And I've had an opportunity to be in a few of the meetings where Deuce has addressed the team, and he addresses the team and talks to them in the way that understanding, this is my expectation. And he told me a story. He's like, look, you don't want to be heard. You want to be you want to be seen. And he was like telling these guys, you have to create a routine. And here's the expectation. Here's what we want out of you. And just very passionate. And he gives you those chills, right? And I'm a huge Deuce Staley fan. Deuce is down there in South Carolina. And I always remember, if I had the opportunity to, name it, if I had any of my boys' opportunity to go with a junior, I was going to go with Deuce.
Yeah.
And so when we had the opportunity to name him, man, and so I got the opportunity to tell Deuce that is, man, I've looked at Deuce. I've been a fan of Deuce Staley for years, man. When he was, and so him living here now and coaching, I get to kind of fanboy out a little bit. And so it's super dope, man. It's super dope.
So you've been around the Panthers 20 plus years now. You've seen a lot of coaching staffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference of the vibe of this one compared to previous ones? Because previous ones have been very successful.
Yeah,
does this one feel like this in terms of order, in terms of structure? Well, obviously different because it's different human beings, but
when a new coaching staff comes in, a lot of times you'll hear players unintentionally compare and say things that come across negative.
Right.
And I would put it in this category. It's almost like injuries. The current injury, whatever injury you have currently, always seems like the worst injury you've ever had.
Right.
And with this coaching staff, the new coaching staff, they're polar opposite. Water and vinegar, water and oil. They're so polar opposites that people are saying things and it's coming across a little bit of a dig at the former regime. And I don't want to get into that, but I would say, because it's new, because there's different people saying it with different tones, different approaches, it comes across as an upgrade. Ultimately, we're only going to know, was it the good call, when we measure the two head to head in the same amount of time.
Cut to it, let's get down to it.